Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Yahud, your place for classic comic stories. Today's episode, Tintin and the Blue Lotus. Let's dive in. Meanwhile, Tintin stealthily moves through the shadows of the garden, his silhouette barely visible under the moonlight. The soft rustling of leaves is the only sound as he approaches the house, determined to uncover the secrets within. Inside the dimly lit room, Tintin sits quietly by the window, partially hidden in the dim room, as he overhears someone in the next room asking for confirmation that he is really there right now. Tintin steps cautiously toward the curtain, listening as someone confirms that Tintin has been there for over a week. The voice barely above a whisper. An uneasy alliance appears to be forming under the cloak of secrecy. In a contrasting burst of energy, Mitsuhirato expresses his impatience, eager to capture them all. Yamato's intense gaze reflects a shared determination, hinting at a grand scheme unfolding. Under the dim light of the moon, Chang and Snowy find themselves standing before an imposing gate, the shadows casting an eerie atmosphere. Chang's heart races as he approaches cautiously, aware of the danger that might lurk beyond the walls. Tintin emerges above the wall, Chang whispering urgently to Tintin that the coast is clear, urging him to come down. Tintin nods in understanding. Chang approaches, asking why Tintin is in such a hurry. Tintin grabs his arm and pulls him forward, telling him there's no time to explain. In the bustling streets, Tintin's voice rises above the noise as he urgently calls out for a car, his eyes scanning the road with desperation. Chang keeps pace beside him, their determination unyielding as they race forward with Snowy trailing closely behind. Relief washes over Tintin as he spots a car in the distance, hope rekindling in his eyes. With Chang by his side, they sprint toward the vehicle, their minds set on reaching it before it's too late. Reaching the car, Tintin leans in urgently, directing the driver to take them to Nanking Road with haste. The driver's eyes widen in surprise, but Tintin's urgency leaves no room for hesitation as the car springs to life. Tintin's plea is met with a stern refusal from the driver, who insists his car is private and not a taxi. Despite the driver's protest, Tintin's determination does not waver as the urgency of the situation escalates. Tintin, desperate and anxious, implores the driver to reconsider, emphasizing the gravity of the situation with lives hanging in the balance. The driver remains adamant, his firm refusal echoing the tension and frustration in the air. Tintin pulls the driver's uniform, throwing him off balance. Stars spin around his head as he stumbles from the sudden force. As the argument reaches a stalemate, the car roars down the bustling street, leaving a trail of urgency behind. Tintin's heart races with the car, each moment precious and slipping away. Inside the speeding car, Tintin hears the chilling revelation that Mr. Wang and his family are in imminent danger of being kidnapped. The urgency in his voice matches the urgency of their mission as they race against time to prevent the impending threat. The car speeds through the dimly lit road, headlights piercing the night as they rush toward Mr. Wang's residence. The shadows of trees loom like silent sentinels, heightening the tension as every second becomes crucial. Tintin grips the steering wheel, anxiety etched on his face as he wonders if they'll make it in time, while Chang sits beside him, equally tense. The urgency in their eyes reflects the weight of their mission, as Snowy looks on alertly. The car races through the winding road, its tires kicking up dust as the night closes in around them. Each turn and bump in the road seems to echo their racing hearts, pushing them forward through the night. As they arrive at Mr. Wang's residence, the gates stand open, eerily welcoming in the stillness. Tintin whispers that all seems quiet, but the silence only heightens the suspense of what might await them inside. Tintin, with determination gleaming in his eyes, leads the way with Chang and Snowy close behind, the shadows of the trees casting an ominous backdrop. The air is tense with anticipation, each step echoing as they approach Mr. Wang's gate, which stands ajar in the dim light. As they draw nearer, Tintin notices the door isn't closed and whispers his discovery to Chang, his voice barely above the whisper of the wind. With a heart pounding like a drum, Tintin moves swiftly towards the entrance, his resolve unshaken. Chang follows, his presence a comforting ally, as they step into the darkness of Mr. Wang's home. In the darkness, a loud thud echoes as someone bumps and falls, stars bursting into view with the impact. Inside, the grim reality hits Tintin and Chang as they discover two figures sprawled on the ornate carpet. Snowy sniffs cautiously, while Chang covers his mouth in horror, sensing a sinister presence. Kneeling beside the fallen servant, Chang identifies him as Mr. Wang's aide, whispering with urgency that he has been chloroformed. The revelation sends a chill through Tintin. Tintin rushes into a disheveled room, his heart sinking as he realizes he's too late. The signs of a struggle are evident and he exclaims that someone has been kidnapped. Snowy sniffs around the debris, his ears perked up as if sensing the danger lurking nearby. Meanwhile, Mitsuhirato stands smugly before his captives, declaring that they are all at his mercy, and that Tintin's time is running out. Mr. Wang and the others, bound and helpless, exchange worried glances, knowing the clock is ticking against their brave friend. In the dimly lit corridor, Tintin halts abruptly, hearing his name called out in a whisper, his mind racing to uncover the truth. Snowy stands beside him, alert and ready, as a question mark hangs over their next move. Chang rushes down the corridor, excitement in his eyes, clutching a scrap of paper like a precious secret. He calls out to Tintin, eager to share his discovery, as their adventure takes an unexpected turn. In a small room adorned with a hanging scroll, Tintin and Chang huddle together over the paper, their expressions shifting from curiosity to shock. Snowy watches intently, sensing the gravity of the moment as an exclamation of realization escapes Tintin's lips. The paper reveals the cryptic words, Blue Lotus Wang, sending a shiver down Tintin's spine. The significance of the message hangs heavy in the air. Tintin grabs Chang's hand, urgency in his voice as they rush towards a mysterious destination. To the Blue Lotus, he exclaims, determination etched on his face. As they sprint through the gates, Snowy follows closely, his paws barely touching the ground. The night air is filled with tension as they approach the waiting car, hearts pounding with anticipation. Sitting in the car, Tintin contemplates the daunting task ahead, pondering how to infiltrate the notorious opium den without being recognized. The weight of the challenge looms large, but the idea of a disguise begins to form as they speed towards Shanghai. The car speeds through a desolate road lined with tall, shadowy trees, the distant horizon shrouded in a misty gloom, reflecting the urgency and gravity of Tintin's mission. The determination in his eyes mirrors the accelerating pace of the vehicle, as every second counts towards his dangerous rendezvous. Arriving at the entrance of the Blue Lotus, Tintin gazes at the intricate lantern swaying gently, its light casting an ominous glow on the sign. The air is thick with mystery and anticipation, as he steels himself for the undercover journey into the heart of the enemy's den. A man with a bushy beard and a hat slips inside, clutching a cane. Every step into the dimly lit interior feels like stepping into a lion's den, his senses heightened as he prepares to navigate the perilous underworld. The man approaches a servant in traditional attire inside the opulent room, exchanging a few words before receiving a welcoming gesture. Settling into a cushion-laden corner, the man is offered assistance but politely declines, trying to maintain his cover. The shadows around him whisper of hidden secrets, and he attempts to blend in, his eyes scanning for any clue that might reveal more about this enigmatic place. The attendant moves away with a subtle glance back, leaving the man alone amidst the soft murmur of distant conversations. Nearby, two figures converse in hushed tones, their eyes darting around with a mix of suspicion and excitement. The servant, maintaining a calm demeanor, confirms the arrival of someone important, while Mitsuhirato questions him, their voices tinged with conspiratorial urgency. The tension between them dissipates into sly amusement as they discuss the visitor's feeble attempts at disguise, a fake beard and a wig that failed to deceive. With a knowing smile, Mitsuhirato suggests they can now indulge in some mischief, their plans set in motion with gleeful anticipation. As the curtain slightly rustles, Mitsuhirato steps forward, a whistle poised between his lips. The sharp sound pierces the air, signaling the beginning of a carefully orchestrated scheme, as the thrill of their impending trickery electrifies the atmosphere. A man with a thick beard sits on the ground, expressing surprise as thugs approaches him with determination. Suddenly, chaos erupts as the bearded man attempts to defend himself with a gun, and a loud bang echoes through the air. Thugs grapple with him, the tension reaching a fever pitch. Watching from the sidelines, Mitsuhirato urges the attackers on with a sinister grin. The air is filled with sounds of struggle and exclamations, heightening the drama of the confrontation. The bearded man has been captured, held firmly by the man in the cap. As Mitsuhirato sits nearby, he reveals the clever trick involving a note from Mr. Wang, the atmosphere shifting as the plan comes to light. The captured man protests loudly, his voice filled with desperation, as Mitsuhirato mockingly laughs at his audacity. Suddenly, the captor yelps in pain as Mitsuhirato tugs at his fake beard. Mitsuhirato's confusion turns to shock, his eyes widening in disbelief at the unexpected turn of events. Mitsuhirato, driven by disbelief, yanks at the captor's beard, only to be met with a stunned yelp from the man. The captor's true identity begins to unravel, leaving Mitsuhirato in a state of shock and confusion. Realizing his mistake, Mitsuhirato's expression shifts as the man angrily declares himself the consul for Moldavia, not Tintin. The revelation sends a wave of panic through Mitsuhirato, who immediately orders the man to be untied, fearing the consequences of his grave error. As the consul storms off with righteous indignation, Mitsuhirato desperately pleads for forgiveness, admitting the mistaken identity. The consul, however, is unwavering, insisting that such treatment is unacceptable and that Mitsuhirato will pay dearly for his actions. Mitsuhirato storms through the room, his mind aflame with the consul's words as he mutters a furious vow of revenge. Gathering his trusted men, Mitsuhirato instructs Yamato with precise orders for a midnight operation involving a mysterious shipment. With a final command, Mitsuhirato departs, his coat swirling around him as he instructs his men to keep him informed. Two men walk past a large vase, unaware of Tintin inside, who listens intently to their conversation about Tintin's potential suspicions. With a triumphant smile, Tintin emerges from the vase, expressing satisfaction that the conversation was overheard. His confidence is palpable as he leans against the vase, feeling empowered by the knowledge he has gained. Quickly, Tintin dashes out of the room labeled the Blue Lotus, his heart pounding with urgency to act on the newfound information. The glowing lantern above casts a flickering light, mirroring the determination in his eyes as he races against time. Tintin, filled with urgency, shares the discoveries with Chang, urging him to leave the area quickly. Snowy stands alert at their feet as the dim lantern light flickers ominously around them. Chang offers to join Tintin at midnight, but Tintin insists on going alone, hinting at the danger involved. As they walk away, their shadows stretch along the cobblestones, heavy with the weight of their decision. The following night, under the cover of darkness, Tintin moves stealthily along the deserted docks. The moon casts a silvery glow on the water, lending an air of mystery and suspense to his solitary mission. Tintin emerges from the shadows hiding behind crate. The night air is tense with anticipation, and Tintin knows he must tread carefully. Tintin hides behind a large crate, listening intently as two men discuss the last shipment to be loaded onto a boat. His heart races as he realizes he's stumbled upon a secretive and possibly dangerous operation. Suddenly, Tintin sees the men hoisting a barrel over the edge of the dock, their silhouettes stark against the dim light. Without hesitation, he dashes forward. Tintin peers cautiously from behind the truck, his heart pounding as he assesses the situation. He whispers to himself that everything is going smoothly so far, hoping his luck holds out. Tintin opens the lid of a barrel and pulls out the hidden stash of opium. With the space cleared, he slips inside, using the barrel as a hiding place. With all the barrels loaded onto the truck, one of the men checks the last of the cargo, then lifts the tailgate into place. With a final nod, he signals that they're ready to move. The night is cloaked in shadows as the truck rumbles through the desolate landscape, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Meanwhile, Mitsuhirato confronts Mr. Wang with a sinister smile, taunting him for daring to challenge his plans. His words drip with malice as he declares Wang's fate sealed. Mitsuhirato's laughter fills the air as he mocks Wang's hope for a last-minute rescue, revealing his confidence that Tintin is already ensnared in his trap. The stakes are higher than ever, and the clock is ticking for Tintin to turn the tide. Tintin, weary and uncertain, sits contemplating the long journey he's been on, wondering where it will lead him. His resolve is tested as he braces for what lies ahead, knowing that time is slipping away. Mitsuhirato, with a sinister grin, taunts Wang with a chilling description of the fate he has orchestrated, involving Wang's own son. The threat of betrayal and impending doom hangs heavily in the air, casting a shadow over Wang's spirit. As Mitsuhirato turns, he is greeted by Yamato, who confirms the completion of their malicious plans with mechanical precision. The weight of their conspiracy deepens, leaving a trail of tension and unease. Mitsuhirato ushers Mr. Wang into the room, urging him not to miss the spectacle they have orchestrated. The tension is palpable as a sinister air hangs over their gathering. With a malicious grin, Mitsuhirato leads Mr. Wang and another accomplice towards a row of barrels, one ominously marked with a cross. The promise of fun lingers in the air. As Mitsuhirato opens the barrel lid, Tintin emerges from the barrel. Mitsuhirato menacingly greets him with a chilling welcome to the end of his journey, a gun pointed directly at him. The gravity of the situation is stark, with Mr. Wang watching in apprehensive silence. Mitsuhirato sneers with confidence, taunting Tintin about the unexpected nature of his capture, while Tintin, bound and unable to resist, reluctantly agrees. The tension in the room crackles as Tintin's mind races, searching for a way out. With a smirk, Mitsuhirato reveals how he anticipated Tintin's every move, recounting how his spy had seen him leave the Blue Lotus. The revelation hangs in the air, a testament to Mitsuhirato's cunning and Tintin's precarious situation. Mitsuhirato, reveling in his victory, explains the trap laid with meticulous detail, knowing Tintin would be unable to resist. Tintin, acknowledging the cleverness of his adversary, remains determined, his mind a whirl of possibilities for escape. Mitsuhirato, with a triumphant gleam in his eyes, reveals to Tintin that an old adversary has returned to witness his downfall, sending a chill through Tintin's spine. The anticipation of meeting this mysterious figure fills the room with tension, as Mitsuhirato relishes in the power he holds. Thanks for watching Comic Yahud. Like, subscribe, and catch you in the next chapter.